Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Universim. This is the giveaway wheel for those of you that entered with the magic word cabbage. So good luck. Here we go. And there we go. Congratulations to the We Love Cheryl Cole 1. You'll be receiving an email shortly with your key for the game. Thank you very much for joining, everybody. And let's get on with the next episode. And here we go. So you will have noticed a bit of time has passed. What I actually did between the episodes was let it run a little bit. Not really, I haven't added anything that I remember. I might have upgraded a few buildings, but not added any specifically. Basically just to get the population up. As you remember, it was around the 190 to 210 mark. It's now 275. So just leaving the Nuggets to do their own thing. The increase in hospitals has allowed the Nuggets to stay alive for longer. We're still short. I mean, we're short of 15. You can see they were already short of 15 educated Nuggets. So it's not solved, but it's certainly a step forward in that process. Also, it means that a lot of the buildings and upgrades have done, so you don't have to wait and see that. So looking over the base at the minute, or the city, you can see there's not a lot of buildings that require people to work. Of course, if we have a look at the research, we are pushing really quickly through the medieval age. In fact, we are very close to the modern age, and by the end of this episode, we will be at the modern age. There is an item there, you can see, penicillin, that I desperately need, and I will be saving the points for that. Luckily, we have more schools, so that should increase that speed of getting those points quicker. But the penicillin gives the Nuggets 10 extra years lifespan, so that will be significant for us. And the current rule from the leader is that the old people can still mate. It means that they may die, but it also means that we may get more items, right? So just setting up there to get a few of the next bits of getting us into the modern age with the research while that goes along. And in terms of the penicillin, we'll have to wait for, of course, the points to go up. We're only on 17, we need 40. Just trying to give somebody jobs here, but there are a few people in prison. So looking over to the garages, we have 2 finished. So that is 200 cars were allowed, or 200 of your Nuggets, your population, are allowed cars to move around faster. And you will see that. You can see them in their cars. And that's using 24 oil per 10 minutes. The fact that we're pushing 300, I am actually going to put a third one down. Unless I run out of oil, I don't see why it would hurt to give everybody that speed boost, right? I think it's important to make sure that everybody's got the same ability to move faster, then get to bunkers quicker, and just do various different tasks, jobs, water, food, all of that. So that third one there will increase that 200 by 200 to 300 by 300, and likely 12, 24, 36. It will push the oil to 36 every 10 minutes. Which, at the minute, the oil I'm not worried about. We've got plenty of oil, and it's coming in. We've got 2 oil jacks, but I can increase that if we need to. And we will look at that when it actually happens, right? There is quite a lot of, what do you call it? The infected zones, which means that people are remaining dead on the floor for too long. So I am going to go through and shortly and get some more of the cemeteries down. Also, I'm looking to upgrade that, because that's one of the first upgrades in the modern era, is upgrading the cemeteries, and meaning you get more people collecting anyway. As you can see, jumping over here, somebody else has been arrested. There's a lot of naughty people in this world, it would seem. There's always somebody popping up being arrested. And of course, there's always somebody being, every sort of 15 minutes, being electrocuted at the prison. Again, this is a problem at the minute. I'm going to try and get rid of these corpses as quick as I can to make sure they don't reintroduce the infection. But the main goal here is that I need more cemeteries, or to at least to make sure that the cemeteries I have are working at full capacity, i.e. they have 2 nuggets working within them. Okay, so a bit of science here is that I've got 2 wood refineries, and the wood refineries are chopping down trees. They just chop down trees that they can reach. They chop them down, and they turn them into planks. Now, that is fine, but they are actually chopping down the trees. So, I've looked at removing them for now and allowing the foresters to do that task, because they also create wood and then planks. I don't know if it's going to be enough, but we'll see. The idea is I'm trying to use sustainable wood as opposed to non-sustainable wood. So I'm just trying to, because keeping your world green is a part of the game, right? And you can see in the bottom right hand corner there where the green leaf is. There's an ever so slight smidge missing, and that is because I've used quite a lot of trees. I think 1,000 trees are missing from the planet, and I need to get some planted. Now I can plant them with God powers, but I don't have enough points yet. So as it looks like now, this is where I'm going through the process of getting some, again, more infected zones, you see. So I'm in the process of putting down the cemeteries, and we'll see how many I can get down. Spread around best I can, but also we need enough people or nuggets to run them, because that's the critical part, right? You need people to actually do these tasks. They don't just do it automatically. But you can see I do have a decent spread, but it looks like the actual cemeteries are overworked, or maybe they don't have the vehicles to speed them up, etc. They're having to just use the carts. So I'm trying to put them where I actually want them, but you can see the ground's not allowing it. It's a very bumpy, mountainous region around this lower end of the village, the city. But I can get one nicely in there, so they'll have to rip all them trees out first, but it's progress nevertheless. And there we go, graveyards has been researched, which means we can now upgrade all of the cemeteries. I ended up putting down an additional 5, I believe. And this also increases the hospitals as well. So the hospitals and the cemeteries are all in the process now of being able to be upgraded. That is a huge step forward, I would say, for the progression, and also for keeping our population higher, right? So we're around that 300 mark. Whether we'll push above that or down from that is all dependent on how we look after the people. So making sure the cemeteries are manned correctly, that they have the ability and the upgrades that they have to collect the people. That stops other people from getting sick, and it stops them from dying also. And with the hospitals, the same again. They can only hold a certain amount, and we have a lot of people. I do keep checking the sickness, because when you go over the cursor at the top right, where you can see your amount of people and children, it does show your total nuggets that are sick. And obviously, at the point that that number is showing more than sort of 4 or 5, is where I would say that I would need to upgrade again. But as it stands, we're doing the best we can with them. The penicillin ability will give us 10 more years, and that's a massive gain. But we still need to achieve that. You can see here, actually, I actually did unlock and build the huge bridge. Stunning little bridge. It just allows them to cross that without going the long way round. They can now come straight across that ocean and get to this side of the map. You can see we do have 3 barracks now, which means we've got 30 military. We did wipe out that one that was close to us on the basis that they kept attacking because we was building too close to them, so I annihilated them. Shortly, I'll likely be annihilating the other ones as well. I'm not sure if you clear them all out, if that's it forever or not. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out together. But that noise is a UFO coming in. That is not a volcano. So go straight over to electrify, and we'll have a quick look around to find the UFO. The UFOs steal people and or destroy buildings. So I'm not going to allow that to happen, and there he is. So loud one in there from the lightning. That's 1 hit and 2 hits will take him down. Trying to make sure I don't land him on somebody, but it's almost impossible to guess where he's going to crash land. Luckily, in this instance, he landed in the police station, and no one was injured or killed. So we can just wait for that to dissipate, and we'll get one of the loot boxes from it. Again, working towards them legendary buildings, but I think I'm sort of 50% on a few of them, but I'm not got to 75% on any of them yet, and that's like 3 out of the 4 tokens. So do that, press F, and you'll fly over to the epicenter to put that in there. There is 2 that I had previously from meteor showers, so let's get them opened. The first one is going to give us 1 token and what looks like 2 or 3 nuggets. 3 nuggets is always a bonus, so I'll accept that with pleasure. Another infected zone's popped up, but let's get this one out of the way first. This one's safe, and that is another pyramid token, and it looked like a few resources there. No nuggets, though. Again, more infected zones from rotting corpses. Really going to have to look to make sure that we get this cleaned up ASAP. Entertainment has been researched as well, which I believe allows us to build a theatre, which is quite a nice building to have. It keeps the people happy and makes them live longer, right? This is an upgraded eatery, and this is the medieval eatery. So we can skip over to what that looks like at the end, just to have a look at some of these sprites that they're using for the buildings, because they are quite nice looking buildings. And there it is done. Nice little restaurant looking thing. Pizza on the side, though I can't see that they actually cook pizzas, but interesting. Nice looking building. Not the best in winter, obviously, or everything looks better in like spring and summer, but we're getting upgrades now where we're getting these buildings, and very, very shortly we'll be looking at the modern age, which will be much more significant in terms of the building structures. They go from these looking Tudor looking buildings, and then they look like some space type buildings. There's quite a big jump between medieval and modern. But we'll get some theatres down. I put 2 down, 1 on either side of the city for now, and then we'll see how much they get used and determine whether we need more. There is some stats in the F1 option where you can see where entertainment is or isn't, so we'll definitely pay attention to look at that. I also saw a glimpse there that the 3rd garage had actually been completed, so that's now 300 people that have vehicles to move around faster, and you can see them down there all whizzing around in the vehicles. Nice to see. So coming back in here, we are actually under attack, so let's have a look at what this means. We've been attacked from the, looks like north, but that was dealt with. Took 3 of them out there with a lightning bolt. There's 1 coming in there, so that is, now we do have a military and we have the police that have no problem hunting them down and killing them themselves. But if I do that and obliterate people using the Thunder Strike ability, it means that my people don't get injured or die alright, and if I've got the points I might as well. So that one did cause a fire in the forest, so I've chucked some rain on top of that. But the attack is over and we're safe, so I'm going to call that successful, because we lost no one and they lost, I think it was 6 of the 10 that they used to attack. So I would say that was successful for us, but not for them. Still waiting for some of the the animals to be tamed so that we can start the farms, the cattle farms up. It does happen, it will happen shortly, but not just yet. So a few of the new schools that I put in are being finished up. They're not being auto-assigned teachers, though, because we're within that 10% that the minister is not allowed to use, but we are, of course. So I've put some teachers in where we can to make sure all the schools are up and running. I think we have about 9 or 10 now. And again, the educated nuggets, there we go, wrong game, are important, because as you upgrade your buildings, they will start to need educated people. You can't just keep non-educated people from the beginning to the end, even down to the engineers' huts. The engineers' huts are a perfect example. They already need educated only. You can't just use any nugget in there. And seeing that there, you saw the mammoth was actually tamed, so that means we can now start using the cattle, the farms, the 2 of the farms. So we need to whiz over to them. There is the movie theatre. Nice looking building. That's one of the 2 that we've built. Just showing that off, looking nice. Again, this is the medieval, because there's not a version before that, but it does upgrade through modern. And I'm not sure though about space age. But we need to jump over now to the cattle farms, and we can then look at getting that stock done. And there we go. So we can select a mammoth, put him in there. uses 20 food, and then it just basically breeds them and gives us food from that. Right next to the prison, you can see little baby mammoths turning up on both sides, so that does both. I'm not sure if it was something that I did or if it's just how it works, but I only clicked for the mammoth to go in one, but it seems to be running them in both. But to be honest, that's all I told them to tame anyway, so it's not really the end of the world, and it shouldn't be a problem. The amount of food we get from there, because if you look again, bottom left-hand corner now, we do actually have 41 points, which means we can get the penicillin. We're just looking at the 300 out of 300. And as I said, it is 36 iron per 10 minutes. So it's just 12, 24, 36. 12 oil per 10 minutes for every garage or for every 100 vehicles you want. But yeah, the food is quite low. We used to have 1,000 food at one point, so that is something I'm going to look into. I'm not sure what's the most economical way to get the food, whether it be farms or the cattle or fishing, etc. Of course, the farms and the fishing are restricted by season, so they can't do anything in winter. Currently just looking for some of the blocks, the chests to collect, and found a nice big herd of mammoths there to hunt. But yeah, hunting's all year round, and I believe that the cattle farm is all year round, so they're likely to be the better options. Unfortunately, I've tried using the desert areas to do farming all year round, but they still do freeze over, so it's not quite that logistical there. But yeah, we can look here at penicillin, and of course when industrialization is finished, we'll get penicillin research now using them 40 points, and that means that the nuggets will live an additional 10 years on top of what they would previously, so that should help. I mean, looking at our population, it's 313. Only 3 children, so the children's a little low, but the population is reasonably decent, and I would say that that's certainly sufficient for showing that we're not going backwards, right? We're certainly going forwards, just slowly. Okay, so looking at the barracks, we have 29 out of 30 people. So let's send them over to 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐿, is that how you pronounce that, I think? And we can send all the units there. They only have 18, I believe that says, yeah. So we can send our military over there to deal with those. And then I'll just jump over to when we actually arrive, or when my nuggets actually arrive. Here we go. You can see that they're going to defend in a direction. We came from the other side than what I thought. But we outnumber them 2-1, really. I tried using a lightning strike there, but obviously it was out of scope for the shield, so it's not a problem. But you can see we've got a nice group coming in there from the left, and in a little bit you'll have the other side, the other group coming in from the right. So we outnumber them 2-1, and we do actually whitewash this. Nice and simple. I'm not sure what happens when you wipe out all the exiles, whether that's the end of them, whether they come back, or I don't know, because I've never actually done that. You can see another army there, look. And as soon as we've obviously wiped out the population, which they've currently got 8, they'll then take out the buildings as well. At the point they take out that central building, forgive me, it's a little bit loud here. I'll try and drop that down a bit. But yeah, at the point that they do that, the shield is removed, and then obviously I could take over. But I'm not going to. I'm going to let them do it, because that's what I train them for. And they'll wipe out that entire city and population and buildings. And then as soon as they've finished, they will just return to their barracks like that. And I would say that is a successful attack. And in the next episode, likely we'll do the same to the other one, and that should be done. Industrialization is complete, which means we can do huge upgrades now on the hospitals and other items that we mentioned previously, including the temple. But also penicillin is done now, so now we have that 10 years additional nugget lifespan. You can also see we are now going into the modernization age, where we get the futuristic buildings, but that is going to be for another episode, so we can start the next episode in the modern era, and then get some of that research crunched out too. So thank you very much for watching. Congratulations to the winner of the game. I hope you'll be playing along with me now. If you like the video, please click like. Any comments are welcome. Subscribe for more. Take care. Goodbye.